Guys, before we get started, we have to apologize because last week we promised an Alien Earth episode and didn't deliver on that whatsoever.
Did we promise it at the beginning?
I think we sort of alluded to the fact that we wanted to talk about.
That's not an implicit
xenomorph.
promise. We don't have to apologize. I mean, I like to own up for my mistakes, but if I took you on just a slightly different ride than you thought, it was probably less coherent. There was more digression.
It was still fun, though.
Yeah,
we did laugh.
All of our listeners are like, says you. There's a bunch of them that are like, oh, I guess maybe you're right because I turned it off halfway. I don't know.
No
one was talking about xenomorphs, so I turned that shit off.
We have good listener retention, Rumi. Most people listen to the end. Proud of that number. Anyway.
I'm proud, too. I didn't realize we were retaining them.
Yeah, retaining them forever.
In school,
retaining them
in school, retaining is the politically correct term for being left back. So now I feel like we're leaving all of our listeners back and making them do it again. The connotation for it.
Well, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at LaunchpadPod, our website, launchpadpod.com. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called X now. Cry more. Anyway, YouTube, launchpadpod.com. Check out our silly faces in our new locations as of for now. I'm in a hotel room and Matt's in his apartment, and we're just trying to make it all work. Damn it. But today, I promise, we will talk about Alien Earth, and we will laugh, and it will be funny. So, let's.
I promise 2 of those 3. We will talk Alien Earth. We will laugh. It might be funny. To you.
It's already funny to me.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right, welcome to Launchpad Podcast. I'm Aaron.
I am Matt.
As promised, we're going to talk about Alien Earth. It's the whole show that's airing on FX and on Hulu or on Disney or whatever streaming platform you're watching it on. By Noah Hawley, famed writer and showrunner who has also done one of my favorite shows, Fargo, and the impeccably weird Legion. Did you see either of those?
Was it the X-Men Legion?
X-Men Legion, yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. I saw first season, maybe first 2 seasons of Fargo.
I love the first 2 seasons of Fargo. The first one is incredible. I think Billy Bob Thornton is one of the best villains ever on TV for that moment. But Legion was weird, like in a good way.
Yeah,
because I didn't give a shit about Legion. I know nothing about Legion. He was never in any of the comic books that I read. I was mostly reading Fantastic Four. Even when I was reading X-Men, Legion didn't pop up. But it was just bonkers. Their approach to storytelling, their approach to character was
that the one that
had
Dan Stevens in it?
Yes.
Yeah, he's still at that level of acting for me right now that I'm not chasing him down. I'm not throwing in movies just because he's in it, but I would watch anything he's in, despite Godzilla Kong. I would watch anything he's in just to see him. He's got a couple that can flop before I'm like, never mind, I don't need to follow you anymore.
Oi, mate, I'm your dentist. Here I am.
I was going to say, does he pull out Magneto's teeth or something?
No, but it's weird because it's like him and Aubrey Plaza, who are both renowned weirdos, and they're just having a great time being all weirded up. And, instead of gunfights, they're having dance-offs. And you're like, that's stupid. You're like, no. The show makes it cool somehow. And you're like, oh, all right.
I like that.
But he did the highly awaited. I mean, they had shit going on at Comic-Con for this. It was so awaited. They did the highly anticipated Alien Earth. And we are now to 3 episodes. And one is airing tonight. As we speak, it's airing. So while we're recording, we could have been watching more Alien Earth, but we said we got to talk about it for me.
I could tell you that from the first 10 minutes of watching it, I was super excited to talk to you about it because
Yeah.
I wanted to see which of us liked it and which of us didn't, or if we were on the same page or different pages. So without spoiling if I'm behind it or not, or if I'm on board or not, I really have been looking forward to talking to you about it. This is one of those
Yes.
those things of media, that there's the slices of pop culture that if you and I didn't have a show, I would be dying to go to Hooters or Buffalo Wild Wings with you so that we could get some wings and talk about this, because I don't even know that I have that much to say, but I'll just jump right in. I'm fucking loving it. It is hitting a note with me that I didn't expect it to hit, that I might not even have known that I wanted it to hit, and I am really enjoying it. I want it to go on. I want it to be like 12 or 13 episodes just this season so that they don't have to rush a story out. I am loving the world. I'm loving the sets. I'm loving the effects. The story is a little bit vanilla and there's not as much happening as I thought. And I love that if you guys aren't watching the YouTube, Rumi's face, he's flummoxed. He's flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted.
Tell
I can't
me.
believe you like it. Not because I don't like it. Not because I don't like it, but because every time I watch it, I'm like, Rumi's going to hate this. Oh, Rumi's going to hate this. Oh, this. I am on the fence because I watch it in complete, like, oh God, is it about to suck? Like, my anxiety watching it is always, because I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but they're like, walking towards a stupid thing. And you're like, please don't do this. Well, you're about to do it. And they're like,
walking towards stupid aliens, continuity, aliens, canon.
They're
right?
about to turn they're about to turn the canon, and some Prometheus black goo is going to be right there waiting for them. And they're going to be like touching it and shit. There's a lot of stuff that I hate, but it's doing so much stuff that I like that I'm like still on board. Like I said, it's like getting a tattoo where before you ever get a tattoo, if you've never had one, you're like, oh no, is it going to hurt? And then they start doing it and you're like, well, it doesn't tickle, but it's fine. And now I kind of want another one. And that's how I feel about Alien Earth. Is like, I'm like, is this going to suck? And then you're like, I'm not
That's how
loving
I feel about nachos with like really spicy salsa. Ooh, is this going to hurt? Ooh, but I kind of want another one.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, well. So Alien Earth takes place before the first Alien film, which already makes me angry because I'm an Alien fan and you better not fuck up my continuity like you've done with all those other fucking movies. First thing it does right, the world is split into different corporations. We have Weyland-Yutani, who we know owns like a quarter of the Earth. And then what's the name of the new one? The other
Prodigy.
This other Prodigy. And this part of the world is owned by a guy named Kid Cavalier, who is Kid Cavalier is when the showrunner was like, hey, can we get Timmy Chalamet? And the casting director said, no. He's like, look, you got like, I don't know, a clone of Timmy somewhere. And
can we get Bizarro Timmy Chalamet?
Yeah, they're like, I got you. Actually, I do. And this guy's actually a good actor. I would say he's the poor man's Timothy Chalamet, but he's actually like a tart Timmy Chalamet. I mean, he might be too expensive for me.
He's doing okay, and he's like the boy. He of the corporations. Boy. He's the boy genius. He walks around with Cavalier. No shoes. He's got a scarf on. I don't know what the next generation or two after hippies and millennials are, but he's just like, I don't know. He's just slightly annoying, but you're not supposed to hate him. They're not building him up to hate him, and he's not supposed to be annoying per se, but he definitely is supposed to be cavalier. It suits him.
They are building you up to hate him.
I don't think they're.
He sucks.
One of my keep fleshing out the summary, and I'll get to my thought about him in a second.
Okay, he has an island called Neverland. Grown. Here he is transferring the souls of children, their digital minds, and downloading them into androids.
Ghost in the Shell style, right?
Ghost in the Shell style.
Pretty much the same.
Interesting. Very interesting. Big thumbs up for this concept. Because in the Alien universe, we've explored all sorts of stuff, but we never really explored the synthetic humans in a way that hasn't been immediately terrible. Sorry, David. But this is doing a good job. we get the amazing Sydney Chandler, who plays Wendy, who so far is doing a great job as this like young child now in an adult body with like superhuman strength and superpowers in a sense. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. Timothy Oliphant is here. He is like an elder synth. I'm not sure if his brain has been downloaded or not. We haven't gotten there yet, but he's like the caretaker synth. They all live in this space. Up in space, there's a Weyland-Yutani spaceship that's been on a long-term like biological research mission, and they've collected a bunch of bugs and animals and critters that are bad, including some famous-looking face huggers.
And eggs,
obviously,
right? Face huggers. They have face huggers in jars and egg.
Obviously, some shit goes bad. Babu Sise, who plays Morrow, who is the synth on the spaceship.
He's not a synth.
Incredible.
He's a cyborg, which
okay.
The title cards at the beginning of the show distinguish synths are full robots, cyborgs are human synthetic mixes, and then there's this new thing, a hybrid, which is a human consciousness in a synth body. So, and I thought that was a very interesting way. It's the first thing we see. You're starting it off with a title card, right? You're making me read this information. So clearly this is an important part of the show. So that kind of like raised, not a red flag, but raised a flag for me of like, hey, I'm supposed to be paying attention to the different types of non-human life going on here, right?
I did not pay attention, but I'm glad you filled me in. Oh. So the ship crashes because aliens, and it crashes the Weyland-Yutani ship, which looks just like our classic, like Nostromo 70s style spaceship, freaking cool, crashes into this city, which is run by Boy Cavalier. And when it crashes, he's like, I'm going to send my synths in to clean this up. Wendy specifically wants to do this because she knows that her brother, who is still a human, is a medic as part of the Marines that are going in to clean up this spaceship. And they get there, and alien action ensues. They find a xenomorph. They find all these critters. They clean up the area, lock it down, and bring back some eggs. Kill a xenomorph, bring back some eggs, and that's where we have left it off at the end of episode 3. And so far, so good. Some very interesting things. Their design style, whereas like on Earth kind of has a Prometheus futuristic vibe, but in space has like a 70s vibe. I don't know how I feel about that, but I like that they are being distinct with their styles to justify them coming together.
Well, I'll even give you like a slight production note on that. In the most recent episode, the third episode, Weyland-Yutani's descendant is talking to someone that was on the ship, and he's like, I know Weyland. I know Yutani. Let me talk to Yutani. And she says, you must mean my grandmother. You've been gone for 65 years. So the ship that crashed is 65, 70 years old. So even in the context of the universe, you could make the argument that the ship does look and feel older because it is 65 to 75 years older, which I think is like a little nerdy bullshit. But like, I actually like the aesthetic design that they have going here, because what happens, and then they explain this and you see this, the ship crashes such so that it goes in through a building and underground. So as this rescue mission is progressing, at first we see it through two different parties. One is the brother, who is like with a bunch of Marines and humans, and they're patrolling for people, like survivors. And then you have the hybrids. They're not synths. The hybrids, which are the Neverland kids. So it's a bunch of kids' consciousnesses in adult robot bodies. They go down to also look for survivors, but with the main character wanting to link up with her brother, like Rumi said. So you kind of see it from both of their point of views. And sometimes they are on a ship that looks very much like Alien. And sometimes they are in like a hotel almost. Further complicated by the fact that there's a party going on of like Victorian era dinner party with like makeup and powdered wigs and shit.
That is straight up like some Legion shit. Yeah. I mean, it is very Legion.
But I like it because I didn't expect Alien Earth to take place mostly in a spaceship. I didn't expect it to take place in a building underground. But I kind of like that, like it has me in the dark. I don't know where it's going yet. I don't know what to expect. Like Aaron said, in this episode, the third episode that we just watched, they've now left that wreckage and are back at Kid Charlemagne. What's his name?
Kid Boy Cavaliers. Island.
Yeah, we're back on his research facility. So I don't know where
Neverland.
the next. So I don't know what the next.
The Peter Pan thing is too heavy-handed for me. I get it. They're children who will live forever, and you even gave them names like Wendy and Shmee and Curly and slightly like it's all the names of the Lost Boys. And even when they are transferring their consciousness from their sick child body, all these children are sick, by the way. They had like cancer or whatever.
Mhm.
They've transferred their consciousness out of their sick body to the hybrid android body. And while they're like going to sleep, Disney's fucking
animated
Peter Pan is playing. And now, that's not the only time we see a movie.
Is that a bridge too far for you? Is like they're calling it Neverland. They're giving them the pirate and the Neverland, or the Lost Boy names. They're calling themselves Lost Boys. You also, the fact that they're actually literally watching Peter Pan, is that just a bridge too far for you and you can't deal with that, or just the whole thing?
I'll explain in a second. It's already heavy-handed as fuck. Like really heavy-handed. I get it. They're Lost Boys. They're living forever. They're going to stay young forever. I get it. Wow. Oh, you gave them the names too. Peter Pan as a piece of literature, I think could be timeless. Like it really is something that will live forever. And we'll talk about it in just a second. I will get to it because that we have a reference where it is a key moment how the brother knows that his sister is inside this synthetic body. She gives an Ice Age reference, the movie Ice Age from 2009. That is too far for me. Here's the situation. Alien, the first film, and even the second one are timeless classics. You don't know what time period they take place in. It is nondescript future. They say it's like 2129 or something, or 2122. I did the math on this. It's crazy. So for them to be watching Ice Age 2120 is the equivalent of us to give the same reference to give a Great Train Robbery from 1907 reference. That is a 100-year-old film. Do you think Ice Age is the timeless classic that you're going to be making jokes with your brother in 100 years? That's the movie? You've just
you're
dated
saying,
your ass.
In the context of this universe, this brother and sister grew up watching a movie that was as antiquated as the Great Train Robbery. So for whatever reason, either in their pop culture lives or just in their household, Ice Age was as old as the Great Train Robbery is for me and you growing up.
Yep. Yep. I did the math on it. Other films that we could reference if we were trying to do this, 1907's The Haunted House, a trick film from Méliès. A lot of Méliès films here.
Yeah,
disappearing and reappearing
film
figures.
was just being invented.
Yeah. The first 15-minute Ben-Hur film, completely, like, those are the references they're making. What child is making 100-year-old references? Like,
maybe that'll be revealed.
But you've just dated your ass.
Yeah,
you've just dated
I see
it.
what you're saying.
Me watching this, even in 10 years, if I come back and I'm like, Alien Earth, yeah. Anytime I pop on Alien, it doesn't remind me of something from the 70s or 80s at all. It is timeless. It has an aesthetic from that time period, but it doesn't remind me, hey, remember Ice Age, that mediocre film that spawned 9 sequels? You're like, no. But like, the fact that it did that and Peter Pan, like I could have given him Peter Pan because he's got a motif going. But again, that's like him as I'm falling asleep playing Earth to the Moon above me. And I'm kind of like, oh, cool. Like
I want to spend the time to make an in-universe Ice Age joke where the characters in Ice Age reference a movie that was made 100 years before Ice Age happened. But like it's a paradoxical mathematical fuck up. It's not going to work as a joke, but
I get but Yeah.
I see what you're
so
saying.
now you're antiquating. Yeah.
That didn't
You're
bother me at
timing
all.
yourself.
I thought it was really random and weird to pick that of all, because as far as we know, the only significance is it is a device to link the two to their shared childhood experiences. It could have been any movie, any poem, any whatever, any memory. It could have been anything. It didn't have to be a movie, and it certainly didn't have to be a movie theoretically as random as Ice Age. Is there a deeper meaning there? Is there, I guess you could deconstruct it based on what we already have, or maybe it'll come up later. But there's been a couple pop culture and media polls. Every episode is ending with a somewhere between contemporary and classic rock song, which I think is really interesting because
needle drops needle drops have never been done in the Alien.
But I
franchise.
don't think it doesn't feel like it's doing it to call attention to itself. It's doing it because it feels like it's like, fuck yeah, another, like, at least the feeling that I'm getting is it's like, fuck yeah, another episode down, bitch. What do you think? And it's playing these awesome rock songs that I am a fan of and do sum up the last couple minutes of whatever we watched.
You hate it when movies do songs that you recognize.
No, because I think they do it because, well, the ones that I hate, and I might be wrong. I understand this is how I'm interpreting it. And maybe this specific show I'm giving a pass to because I like the show. But I think that when I hate it, it's because the movie or show or whatever is like, hey, remember this song? This is a cool song, right? And you're like, yeah, but what? Yeah, but what? Why? I'm not giving you credit because you're playing a song I like. These songs that are playing at the end of Alien Earth are awesome, but they're not songs that like were a moment in time, or they're not songs that like I play a lot. They're just classic, like a classic Metallica song.
Yeah, Master of a Puppet comes on and I go, oh, you're trying to make me think you're cool because you're playing Master of Puppets. I'm literally doing a you.
Yeah, you are.
Like, oh, and the second they started playing Masters of Puppets, I was like, what, you're going to play Metallica? That doesn't win me over, show.
This is my least favorite one, but I thought the other two were a little bit more apropos. It was a little bit more connected to what was going on. But I also think that this is also what's happened. Like I kind of get what they're trying to do, and I don't hate it because it's so weird. And for anyone that's not watching the show or hasn't watched it yet, they're not playing this type of music throughout the episodes. So it is very different when you get to this credit sequence and you just see the credits and you hear a, modern rock song. I'm on board. I think it's very stylistic, and I guess it's like when you look at something, when you go to a museum and you see something that is not the thing that you usually like, but you're like, okay, you have enough of it. You have enough of what I like in there. You're showing me your take on it. Cool. And I could tell you there's a couple other things I don't like, but let's start at the beginning. After you see that title crawl that I said that explains the difference between the synthetics, we start on the interior of that spaceship, and it is very reminiscent of the first couple minutes of Alien. However,
waking up from cryotubes,
yeah, very similar. I, however, don't feel like it was doing it. And again, maybe I just walked in excited, but I don't feel like it was like Force Awakens. Hey, remember the Death Star? We got a Death Star too. Hey, remember how Alien started? We're starting that way too. I didn't take it as that. I took it as half homage, half interpretation. This is my telling of how a cryo crew would wake up. And it had all the noises, all the design. It looked like they were shooting on a fucking set. And I was like, you know what? You're showing me that you have the guts of this movie. Like not necessarily the chutzpah, but like you're making this show the way an Alien show should be made. And then they were like, guess what? This entire crew we just established and you met and we started the rapport with the food eating scene. They're all fucking dead. That was just the intro. And you're like, I was like, damn,
Psych.
Okay. I liked that. That was a great way, at least for me. And I'm not saying Shakespeare. I'm not saying the most amazing opening I've ever seen, but I was fucking on board. I was in a 70s spaceship in an alien universe. And I think from there, it just keeps unrolling. And it's like, remember synthetics? And you're like, yeah. And you're like, remember how in one movie he turned out to be bad, and in another movie you didn't know and he turned out to be good, and then we always have this thing with a synthetic, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, guess what? We have a really great actor who I personally like from other projects, and he's playing a really interesting but shadowy, or at least like say ambiguous character, where you're like, what are his motivations? Where is his allegiance? What is his mission? Even both on the surface level of the show, and also does he have an interior thing that we don't know about? And I feel like he's playing him fucking awesome. So it's like all these things are kind of combining to make a really interesting show to me.
He is my favorite actor in the show right now. Him and Timothy Olyphant just carry it.
I'm talking about Timothy Olyphant. I'm not talking about the cyborg. I'm talking about Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about Babu Cisse.
He's the cyborg. Fantastic. He's also awesome. But I'm going to say that like we don't know cyborgs in this world just yet. Like we haven't really seen cyborgs, so we don't know. He also clearly is a I won't say malevolent force, but like we know not to trust him. We know he's not necessarily looking out for the same interest as our main characters. I don't know yet if Timothy Olyphant is going to help them or hurt them. I don't know that.
Right. We don't know.
And we've seen that before because that's how we were supposed to feel about Bishop in Aliens. But this is different. He's playing a different character than Lance Hendrickson did in Aliens. And I'm on board. I want to watch whole scenes with him. I really like how they're giving us those crumbs.
He does one of my favorite scenes with him is when Boy Cavalier comes in and they have just brought the eggs back. And Boy Cavalier's like, oh, yeah. Oh, man, check out this cool stuff. Mine, all mine. New toys. It's Christmas. And he leans in over the egg and we're like, oh, shit. And Timothy Olyphant looks at him and looks at the egg. And there's a moment where you're like, is he going to let this happen? And there's a moment where I think Timothy Olyphant is like calculating. And then he's like, step back. It's a parasite. And he lays it out. He saves him and tells him why he shouldn't be leaning over an egg like that. And I was like, that's interesting. That's really interesting. You got to see that with the android. We get to see him on his mission of like, I'm here to just reclaim the property that belongs to Weyland-Yutani and the company, and is my job. And he's like, there's nothing left for me. I have no life other than this mission.
And I thought that happened in the third episode. We're seeing this guy. He clearly is trying to maintain the alien situation and somehow corral it. We see him try to capture a xenomorph drone a couple of times. We see him dispatch other characters to try to maintain his control over xenomorphs. And he certainly does not seem aligned with humanity, specifically as a whole or with his original crew. He very quickly gets himself into a safe hold thing while trying to corral an alien. In this third episode, he says, like Aaron said, he says, I have nothing left. I'm not backing down from this. This is my life's work. He said, these creatures are my life's work. And I'm like, okay, I don't know enough about this character yet to understand that statement, but he's a very intense character played by a great actor. And I very much want to see more of that story. I want to see, why is this your life's work? Why, technically he makes a comment in this last episode about, oh, must be nice to be have a fully robot body. And so, okay, maybe he doesn't like being a cyborg. Tell me more about that. That's cool. That's interesting to think of. And I like that. I think that's a cool idea.
When is a machine not a machine? That's what he keeps saying. It's creepy. So before we get into the xenomorph, I want to talk about the Lost Boys, the group of children. They're not all boys. Some of them are girls. And they are children inside of adult bodies. And some of them are very well acted, and some of them are making choices that are what an adult actor thinks children act like. And
fair.
They do this thing where, oh, I'm a child, so I'm going to act stupid. Oh, I'm so scared, man. Children don't act stupid because they're stupid. They're naive, but they do everything with 100% earnestness.
Sincerity, yeah.
Sincerity. They believe everything that comes out of their little mouths. And that's why it's funny. it's not, they're not, kids aren't stupid, they're naive, and there's a difference. And I think when people play stupid, it's like a burnout, oh, I just smoked too much weed, man, now I'm just a dummy. Whereas like a child would say everything as honest as possible. And I think some of these people don't know the difference, but some of them do. We get a whole scene where one of the actresses who plays Curly, she goes to Boy Cavalier, and she says, "Am I your favorite?" And she thinks she's being manipulative. She thinks she's being clever. She thinks she's in charge of the situation. But because she's a child and she's naive, she's playing into his trap. And that is acting smart. And I thought that was a very strong scene. But I'm also really creeped out because I think he's grooming her for something very creepy.
It's interesting. I'm glad to hear you say that. I loved that scene too for the same thing. I got the same thing. I thought she was acting as a child much more sophisticatedly than, let's say, some of the other characters. Although, again, I don't know if I just drank the Kool-Aid before I even sat down or what. There's two male characters that are supposed to be young boys in, I guess, like young adult bodies. And they're like, bro. And they're always grabbing each other. Bro, oh, man, I'm so fucking scared, man.
But the lexicon.
Agreed.
The bro lexicon kills me.
But here's the thing.
That isn't language that has been used.
It is. Well, in their world, it hasn't been used in 100 years. But like, no joke, 11, 12-year-olds, bro, all the time. More than you would think. Like, I've heard it and I don't believe it.
My 4-year-old was like, bruh. And I was like, excuse me?
But I've heard two like preteen boys talk to each other in one conversation. You wouldn't believe how many bruhs are in there. Like, it's not that they say bruh and then make a point. There's 7 bruhs sprinkled around the point.
It's also it's like a pause word. It's their version of
Yeah, that's probably a good way to think of it. I think for me, I know that they're overacting or cartoonishly acting some of that, but I think part of that is written because that's the comic relief for the scene in the series, and at least these couple of episodes. But also, like, it's like, to me, I guess, when you watch a horror movie and you're like, nobody would go back in there. But for the movie to continue, someone needs to go back in there. For this show to go the way it's going, they're supposed to be kids. And in my mind, I'm kind of like compensating and being like, okay, pretend that they didn't do that quite so cartoony. But I think I don't know, I'm enjoying that aspect of it too. It's certainly too vivid. You know what I mean? It's too bright. It's the way you described it is actually really correct. It's like you said too about like high. I would have said drunk. When people act drunk, they look like they're acting drunk. These people look like they're acting like kids. But that said, I know it's not perfect thespianism, but I'm on board. I'm enjoying it. It's cracking me up, and I think it's cute in its own way.
It could be, but I think the use of the lexicon kills me. Like using language that is today, as opposed to trying to make it fit into the universe of Alien, which nobody has ever uttered bruh like that in any Alien movie. It's like, I don't know, you follow a template that keeps it in the time frame, and they are dating it, because in like 5 years, if you, like I said, if you go back and watch it, you're going to be like, why are they saying bruh so much?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Rumi, you've always been a man of the future.
The comedic, I don't know. I don't need
bruh to the future.
Yeah, bruh to the future. Scenes that are just played for jokes kind of bug me in this sense too, because it's like, I don't know, it doesn't fit to me. It's out of it's out of place, and you're like, we're just telling jokes waiting for something alien-y to happen. And I don't know, maybe because all the other films are very bleak and very dark, and like, yeah, there is funny stuff like, oh, game over, man, but like, I don't know why that still just fits better than two guys saying bruh to each other a whole bunch in a scene waiting for an alien to attack or an android to find them.
Do you think that specific idea has anything to do, like as a conscious choice, as a television series with an ongoing plot, rather than a 2 or even 3 hour movie where you have that sort of pacing to tell that sort of story. Whereas I don't know how many episodes this is purported to be, but let's just say it's 8 episodes or 6 episodes. Do you think that
Yeah.
has anything to do with that? And I guess we're speculating on filmmaking here, right?
You have more time to have scenes that don't necessarily matter and that build character.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if the sole purpose of it is to kind of be a laugh and like take a moment to breathe, I guess there's an argument for why that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just waiting. We need a moment to breathe. If it was intense the entire time, it's not fun.
Yeah.
I get that. But when it's just like, oh, you're just, again, I feel like I see a scene like that and like, you're just trying to make me laugh. And I don't appreciate that right now, movie. Oh, you're just playing this Metallica to make me go, fuck yeah, rock on. I'm not that easily fooled. TV show, Alien Earth.
The other day, I told Kent he couldn't have something or whatever. And he crossed his arms and turned away. And I said something snarky to him. And he was like, this isn't a time for laughing. And then he turned his head. That's you right now. And then you know what he did? He immediately started laughing. This is not a time for laughing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm being very cranky about it. I realize I am a gatekeeper of Alien, and I protect this movie, this franchise that means a lot to me. I don't think it's shitting all over it. I don't have the same intense hatred that I do for like Prometheus or Covenant.
Sure.
I actually am like, oh, I want to see what happens next. But I'm not like immediate classic. It's not like I need to watch this once or twice a year like I am for the first Alien film.
I think that's fair. And I realized I didn't realize while watching this, I don't know if we talked about this, but I have movies that have time frames for me. Like Alien and Aliens became summer movies for me. I try to watch those every summer. It feels like a summer movie to me for a couple different reasons. But I realized that is a very warm, not safe, but warm and homely and comfortable feeling for me is watching those two movies. More so even than Predator, which I might like more, but I just feel like I get lost in that world and I can tumble into it. And the best way I can describe it, and maybe this doesn't make any sense to anybody but me, is like, I can't think of a feeling that might feel better than at the end of the day, getting all my work done and putting Kent to bed and doing the dishes, turning the lights off, laying on the couch and falling, like putting Alien on and either watching the entire thing or conking out 5 minutes in or conking out halfway through. Like it really does feel like a cinematic blanket to me where it's just like, here's this movie that I fucking love. Here's this movie that I really could not say they could have done anything different or better that I would have responded better to.
Perfect film.
Really. And I maybe that's why like even Predator has parts in it that I might change, but like something about, especially the first one, but Aliens as well, it just holds so many comfortable feelings for me that like watching this, and especially the way that I said it started, I was on board from the beginning. And I was like, this is fun. It feels good. It does feel like the worst example is how the prequels felt compared to the original Star Wars. But like, this doesn't feel like it's that far removed from the originals. I agree with you that it is not a classic. It is not as good as Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection, but like it is in the same world. I fully believe that this is happening in the same universe as any of those movies, you know?
Here's what I'm thinking. I like Alien Resurrection, but I feel like the way people talk about Alien Resurrection who don't like it, this is how I feel about this show. Where it's like, yeah, it still has the best, it has the best parts of the DNA of it still going for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the Xenomorph stuff is great. Let's talk about that. The Xenomorph, really cool. He looks a little different, but whatever, it's fine. They always do a little bit of different look going on, but he's cool. And I buy that he's a Xenomorph and they're doing really cool things with him. We're getting to see some of that inner mouth do different things. She hooks it at one point, dragging the Xenomorph around from his inner mouth. That's sick. Using acid blood. That's cool. I'm on board for everything they've done with the Xenomorph so far. I know a lot of people are complaining about his back spines on the internet and like his tail not being too active, but it's like, I don't know. So that's the stuff that I'm giving.
Stabbed a guy with his tail, a main character.
Yeah,
like how much more active do we need?
I'm giving it passes for anything because again, you're putting it on TV and you're trying to do it with not a ton of CGI. And I give it a lot of credit for giving me a practical xenomorph with real drool and real action, and I'm on board with all the xenomorph stuff, and I'm super on board with all the other critters. We have this eyeball spider monster, some creepy bugs that suck your blood out and explode. I'm on board with all that stuff.
I don't mind. I want to see where the other creatures are going. Like, were they just the lead up monsters and they have no importance to the story, or are they part of alien canon, or are they not necessarily part of the xenomorph story, but they're going to be part of this show because it's another danger? We'll see. But I certainly don't mind them. The first episode, I'm watching it and I'm loving the ambiance. I'm loving the feeling. I'm liking the acting. I'm liking the story that's unfolding. And I'm like, my main complaint is for an alien show, I want to see more of the alien, which I stand by. But then I was thinking about things that you and I have talked about when we talk about Star Wars. And we've said, like, the Skywalkers are not the only fucking people in the galaxy. Show us other things that have nothing to do with Skywalkers. There's literally millions of other planets. I feel like when we're watching a show like this, you are fleshing out that universe, telling me that there's 3 different types of synthetic, fake, non-organic humans. Tell me more about that. Now we have eyeball monsters. Okay, I hope it's not some Black Goo Covenant shit, but okay, I'll ignore it if that's what it is, but tell me about it. We got a crash underground in a building. Okay, that's not the direction I thought this was going, but I believe that crashed ship in a building underground is in the same movie as the Sulaco, as the Nostromo, as the colony prison. I believe that is all in the same area. So fuck yeah, tell me a story about a synthetic who, like you said, debates something and then saves his master / creator / whatever this guy, Kid Gorgeous is. I like this universe of other things. It doesn't have to just be the xenomorph. So I'm giving them a pass on that. I also understand television production, and the xenomorph's going to be the most expensive thing to put in the show. So they're not going to have that be in every shot. I get it. But I'm so far, man, I'm on board. I really have a lot of nice feelings about it.
What felt more authentic to you, this or Alien Romulus? Matt's thinking.
Well, I will say, and to be fair, I think I only saw Romulus once. I need to rewatch it before I really say this. But I can't peg Romulus for too many things. It definitely leaned into Covenant and, Prometheus too much for my taste in that couple of things, and to make it such a big part of that movie. But okay, that's there. I have to accept it. I feel like that story was a lot more boom, 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 because it was a 2-hour movie. It's the 6th or 7th movie in the franchise that I already know. It didn't bend the rules too much, so they weren't trying to re-explain the creation of fucking life. This show is giving more time. It has more time to develop a story. There's a lot more nuance here. We're getting a lot better characters. I would say a mid-level depth character here is beating any characterization that was in Romulus, but I don't necessarily fault Romulus for that. You know what I mean? I think the synth in Romulus was the best actor and the most interesting part. The girl was just like a baby Ripley. She was fine. She did a great job as a likable character. I cared about what she was going through. But did I care about her once the movie was over? No. Whereas I want to know more about half the characters in this show.
For me, what I'm saying is more authentic is Romulus felt to me more like an alien film as far as the location, the griminess of it, the dirtiness of it. It felt like we were on a real planet that's in the alien universe. The Weyland-Yutani stuff felt real. The sets, while being authentic, yes, I feel like they're on a real spaceship. That's cool. But then they get to the Earth and it feels like you are sacrificing scope for CGI looking cities and stuff, which again isn't terrible, but it's taking me out of what makes it feel like an alien film. What's keeping me on board is I'm very interested in to find out what happens with the creatures they've collected and to find out what happens to the hybrid synthetic children. That is interesting. So that's what I'm still on board for.
Well, to be fair, too, I guess it's slightly an unfair comparison because, as far as you and I know at this point, Alien Romulus was a start to finish story, whereas this story could go anywhere. They still could do anything and explain shit that we don't know about yet. I have the opposite take on you about the scope because part of me, and comic books have shown this, comic books have feared this, comic books have mentioned this, but what happens if there's an alien outbreak on Earth? To me, part of the reason these movies have worked is because you're isolated somewhere that you can't escape with a ravenous thing that's coming for you. The first movie was all in one spaceship. The second movie was in one or two, let's just say, complexes on a planet. The planet itself was barren. You can't escape. So even if you escape the alien, you're still stuck. Alien 3, we're stuck in a prison on a barren planet. Alien 4, we're stuck in a spaceship. So I think that's a very important part of these movies. And I feel like this movie is almost kind of tricking us to be like, hey, it's alien Earth. We're on Earth. But we're stuck in a spaceship, stuck in a building, stuck underground. And to me, so far, it has felt very closed off to me. Yes, there have been some very wide shots. Yes, we have seen an island paradise. We've seen a bunch of stuff like that. But I think it is still, like I think you said bones. It has the DNA, you said. It has the DNA of that other stuff where a lot of the most intense scenes were tight. We were stuck somewhere. The fight scenes were in a tight place, looking for survivors, dealing with the xenomorph. We were in a tight space. So to me, that's all reading the way it should. I'm still okay with that. And then also, the production person in me is like, yeah, well, they can't do this. Yeah, well, they can't do that. Like, you can't. But I'm on board for it so far. I think you're tricking me into being like, it's called Alien Earth, but it takes place in a smashed spaceship underground. And I'm like, okay.
I agree. I guess for me, I don't know. Just what I liked about something like Romulus is you're able to make that world feel like something I've seen before. And I guess I want Alien Earth to show me new things. I just want it to somehow still feel like it's in a world that I recognize.
Well, it really is. I think as you and I do more of these type of episodes or of the show where we talk about these new versions or new evolutions of things that we grew up with, like we fucking ate, slept, and breathed aliens for 40 years. So like there's and it's important to us. Like I always say it, but it sounds stupid, but it's important to us. So we have this opinion. And I think as we get older, we start to refine that and understand like it is hard to want something new, but it can't be so new that it's not what I knew, but it can't be the same thing because then you're just rehashing and you can't give me fan service. So there's all these, pitfalls that a new thing of something that we liked growing up. It's hard to find a good balance or even a decent balance. For me, this is certainly hitting it. And I'm like excited to see where the next episodes go.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like I said, I think you like it more than I do, but I am on board to keep trying.
I got a little chubby about it. I'll say not full-fledged boner, but I'll say chubby. When you're really excited about an alien movie or an alien show, you know how you could tell?
How?
A smaller boner comes out of your big boner.
Well, I know I sounded super critical and like a cranky old man. I'm still on board. I will keep watching. I do care, and I want to see where it happens. And they are doing a great job. The art design is incredible. The makeup effects and the VFX are pretty solid. So I do think they are doing a competent job. Just better not show me any Disney movie references again.
What I saw headlines that said people were complaining about the design of the alien. And I do notice that it looks slightly different, but I'm not jarred. Like Predators look way the fuck more different than what I want them to look like. This looks like a fucking xenomorph. You said that people are complaining about back spines?
Yeah, his little back tubes aren't as long as usual.
He's a baby.
Whatever.
What else are they saying? Anything? Is that the big thing? Do you know?
They don't like how the lips move. They move differently. I don't know. It's very small stuff, which is like, Oh, so I get to look at those guys and go, oh, you guys are complaining about some minuscule stuff, and then here I am being like, oh, you showed me 100-year-old movie in your TV show. Fuck you.
His lips are fine, but he shouldn't be talking about Birth of a Nation. My critique with him was, and this is actually not unique to this Alien movie, but when you have a movie or you know a show that has digital creature and practical creature, whether it's a puppet or a guy in a suit or whatever, when the digital creature is jumping on all the surfaces and moving quick as lightning, and then a guy in a suit comes through, and you're like, one thing I noticed is this brother character, the alien, the xenomorph has had at least 3 opportunities to just eviscerate him. At least 3. And every time, slowly crawls over him, draws the lips back, gets poised to strike, and then something else saves him. And like to the point where I'm wondering if it's done on purpose to become a theme, or is there going to be a reveal that somehow the alien knows something about him specifically, blah, blah, blah. And I have other, not full-fledged theories, but other things that I could loop into that to build a theory. But literally that Victorian party that was taking place in the hotel room, the alien ran in there and killed like 10 people in 5 seconds, and then comes up to the brother super slowly. And I'm like, okay, are you making that suspenseful for me? Because I'm like, oh no, will this main protagonist die? To me, it's a very big discrepancy between the digital version and the live action version. And it's like, I don't know if this fixes it, but slow the digital version down a little bit to make them on par with each other so that I don't notice it so hard. That's like my biggest complaint of the whole show. And I'm not losing sleep over it.
I get that. You're 100% right, though. Like, it's doing a lot right. So all my gripes are kind of silly. And even though it's like, yeah, I'm not complaining about back spines here. God.
It's not a time
I'm just complaining about Ice Age references. Yeah, no more jokes, guys. Stop being funny. You know, I do want Boy Cavalier to get his because he's creeping me out. And I want to see what Timothy Oliphant's character's up to. So, yeah, we'll see, man. Overall, like I said, I'm still on board, not off. So they're doing something right.
Boy Cavalier, I want to be something different because right now he's like a cardboard cutout of every other young boy genius that is playing by his own rules, but like in the most boring way possible. He's not really doing much right now. And there are a couple creepy things. We're certainly not supposed to like him, but like, he just is like, I've seen this character before. What makes this version different? Make it like basically what I was saying, the difference between Timothy Oliphant, Synth, and Bishop. There's a very big difference so far in how they present, what we know about them going in. Show me something different with this Kid Gorgeous, but we'll see. Kid Gorgeous was Mo in The Simpsons when he was a boxer.
That's funny. Yeah, Boy Cavalier. Yeah, he does need to bring something else to the table, and please don't make it super creepy. Like,
yeah, it's fine. I didn't pick up on it as creepy. I took it as like genius grooming, where he was going to be like, because he could be banging that robot if he wanted. I don't think they're going to go into that. I think he's going to be.
That's
like,
what I think they're exactly.
Why can't he be banging it right now? Like,
because he's got he's a creepy groomer. I'm going to give you some books. What's he going to give her? What are those books about? It's not going to be about
being
smart
genius.
Stuff.
They're prodigies for dummies.
No, I think it's creepy groomer shit. So that was
interesting. I didn't pick that up, and I feel like now that you're putting that out there, I think that's too far for a show like that to go. Like, they got other shit to do than do creepy groomers. Although, if he became a creepy groomer and then got eaten by an alien at the end, we would all be like really happy about that, right? Like, that would be a good arc. This
is a Noah Hawley show. He's always like on the edge of doing something creepy. Maybe not this creepy, but I don't think it's with the best intentions. We'll put it that way.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm having a good time watching it. It makes me feel like it sounds stupid, but it makes me feel good. And I haven't watched a show that felt like that in a while. And again, it might not be the show. It might just be that I'm in the perfect mood for this show right now, and I'm bringing good feelings to it, and it's getting credit for it. But for me, I'm on board. Keep making more alien stuff.
Well, I'll see if I can watch the episode 4 tomorrow. See if it swings the needle for me. I do like all the weird, creepy space critters, so I want to see more of that, and I think we will get more creepy space critters later. So that'll be fun. Guys, let us know what you think about Alien Earth. Are you mad about back spines? You mad about Ice Age references?
Are you mad about jokes?
Yeah, stop being funny. No jokes, bruh. Bro. No, bruh. Bruh, I gotta tell you this, bruh. This movie's so bruh and good, bruh. So bruh. Oh, bruh.
Yeah, even that part, not only did I not mind, I was okay with it. I liked it. I thought I laughed a little bit. Was like, I mean, I know idiots. I've seen that conversation before. You're right. It does date it, and now that's leaving a sour taste in my mouth. So you're not wrong about that. But
yeah, the dating to such a timeless thing to me is like, that's not a hard thing. That's a really easy thing to pull off. It's not like you had to thread a needle. The rules are laid out.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Guys, let us know. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Launchpad Pod, and our website, launchpadpod.com. And on YouTube, Launchpad Pod. Rumi, there's only one thing for us to do left. Blast this thing off. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Till next time, we're the Rocketeers. We are out.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.